I employed slaves to build this.
jSchlatt is an online personality, Twitch streamer, and content creator. He is most well known for his adventures with friends in a range of different games, and his blunt comedy. But what if I told you that there was a darker side to jSchlatt that you have never known? Would you still watch him as a content creator? Would you still be able to support his work? This video is here to help you make that decision. I have assembled all of the evidence on the internet with respect to the allegations, and attempted to uncover what truly happened in 1999. Hear what jSchlatt's charges would look like if he were ever charged for his crimes.
You know what they call me? They call me the Sword Man. Because in 1999, I committed mass homicide with a sword.
The FBI describes a mass homicide as a simultaneous killing of 4 or more people. With regard to jSchlatt's intent, there is no evidence to suggest that this was a drug-fueled craze or spontaneous decision. This is a very hard case to predict, as the sentence is dependent on the intent of the killer and amount of people, of which both are unknown. I will assume that jSchlatt acted spontaneously and that 4 people were killed. New York law states that a murder of the first degree can lead to a sentence ranging from 15 to 40 years, but as jSchlatt was still in the womb at this point, he would be charged as a minor.
It's all about, it's Wednesday now. It's Wednesday. The worst day of the week. The day I brutally murdered 3 children back in 1999.
New York law has no available information as to whether the murder of a child results in a higher sentence for the accused, though at this point in the Schleimline we can safely assume that Schlong would be considered a serial killer. We can safely assume that Judas Schliger's depiction of the murders is brutal, that the intent for the murder was present before it came to pass. We can safely assume that these children were brutally murdered with intent.
They call me the Blade Runner, you know why? Because in 1999, I brutally slashed a 12-year-old after I lured her into the forest.
Jay-Z doesn't admit to murdering the girl he mentions. Given that he usually likes to brag about his successful kills, it is likely that Jay Schlong did not finish the kill. Whether this was intentional or not is unknown. The New York law states that in an assault with a knife in a non-violent predicate situation, the minimum sentence is 8 years.
They call me hook, line, and sinker. They call me the fisherman. They call me the hook man because in 1972, I brutally assaulted 2 women with a hook.
Unless jSchlatt has lied about his age for this entire time, it would be impossible for him to commit a crime in 1972. There is reasonable suspicion to believe that the crime was committed by J Smack's father, J Shag. In the case that the murders were committed by J Gag's father, J Spat would not be considered an assailant in this specific crime, as sperm cells are not responsible for any and all accidents they may cause.
Got some punishment.
He's not
for
even
you.
that bad punishment.
I'm not happy. What is the punishment?
It says you die.
It says you die.
What the fuck does that mean?
What does you die mean?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You made the fucking game.
I don't really know what that means, Ludwig.
Oh my god!
Shit, don't you ever fucking come on my stream again!
Oh!
You know what they say about bystanders, just look away.
Attacking someone with the intent to harm is considered battery by New York law standards. jSchlatt would also be required to pay for all of the medical treatment that the victim may require. The extent of the injuries sustained by the small-time streamer is unknown. Jay Spunk also commits assault and another round of battery after the initial attack. Given that the victim was video reading the threat before any of the attacks occurred, and whether the victim survived or not is unknown, then this could be considered at max a murder of the first degree or attempted murder of the first degree.
Map of downtown Chicago. Huh, interesting. There. January 17th, 1999. A man with mutton chops came up to me, gun pointed to my head.
This is a lie. This is a lie. didn't happen. I didn't do that.
Illinois law states that the sentence for aggravated assault leads to a maximum of 1 year in prison and a maximum penalty of $2,500. In some cases, the prosecution may try aggravated assault as a class 4 felony, which carries a maximum prison sentence of 3 years.
SelfDefense, the 44th President of the United States, demands you to drive on the left side of the road, or will do to you what you did to those people in 1999.
You know what, Obama, the second you said that, a cop drove right by me, so I don't know if I'm gonna take that advice. Although that is what I did in 1999, and I had a great job doing it. A great time. I mean, it was just so much fun.
A civilian refusing orders from the president is not considered illegal. The extent of the specific crime mentioned is unknown, so the max that we can charge jSchlatt with is a dangerous driving, leading to a $100 to $300 fine for the first offense and $225 to $525 for any further offenses. jSchlatt would also get free points on his driving license. I will assume that Schlatt committed the crime 3 times.
I'm very familiar with baseball bets. You know why? Because I brutally murdered 5 people with one back in 1999.
With regards to this crime, we can also assume that jSchlatt was acting with full intent and planned the murders beforehand. Given this, we can charge jSchlatt with 5 full counts of first-degree murder.
I'm the steel toe, baby. You know why they call me steel toe? Because in 1999, I brutally murdered 7 women with my steel toe Timberlands.
We can also assume that the nature of these murders is of the first degree. With regards to J-Dad's weapon of choice, the steel-toed Timberlands, New York law does not state that the weapon of choice in murder charges is cause for a longer sentence. Given this, we can charge jSchlatt with 7 counts of first-degree murder.
Did you? You got
Yeah,
them to
well,
build a
I didn't
railroad?
employ them. Employ is a funny word because it implies you're paying them. I forced a bunch of slaves to build this railroad I'll drive.
Slavery. The maximum penalty for modern-day slavery is 10 years, but where the underlying offense is kidnapping or false imprisonment, judges can impose life sentences. Given the length of the railroad track, the likelihood is Schlatt contained at least a shipping container worth of slaves, each with their own Minecraft system dedicated to building the Schlag Atlantic Railway. Whether Schlatt would have brought these slaves with his vast wealth or kidnapped them himself with the skills he learned in '99 is unknown.
Date. We're not together, okay? If I see anybody shipping me and Minx, I am going to swat you. It'll be like what I did back in the 90s, all over again.
The charges for swatting someone range from filing a false police report to issuing a terrorist threat. In this case, jSchlatt is threatening a huge amount of people, so we can safely assume that this would be considered a terrorist threat of the highest degree. It is also evident that this is a repeat occurrence, as he references that this is an activity that he actively engaged with in the 90s. The charge for issuing a terrorist threat is 5 years. I will assume that he engaged in this activity at least 4 times.
You've probably seen her at a man. That's
It is evident from this video that jSchlatt acted in self-defense. The man who approached him showed evil intent and was likely attempting to harm him in his own home. The man would be charged with trespassing, and even if Schlatt killed the assailant, it would be ruled as self-defense, as there is video evidence to support the fact that he acted only because he feared for his life.
What do we got here? Oh! Oh, man, you don't have to be doing this. Chill out. Chill out. Can you imagine? Why you're pouring cum into his mouth? That is not milk. That's not milk. It's too white to be water, but it's not milky enough to be milk. What the fuck is that? Fuck.
You reminded me about the one in my trunk. Fuck, I'm sorry. I'll be back.
Kidnapping in the second degree is a B felony punishable by up to 25 years in prison.
Right. I was going for maraca, man, because of what I did with a maraca back in the 90s.